So we saw the view from the roof of Nebi Samuel, the building that we're standing at the entrance of now, over to Givon, which is westwards of us, and further west to the Ayalon Valley down at the horizon. Here's the story. The Gibeonites made Joshua think that they're living far away. And Joshua, for reasons which are with him, did not ask the Urim V'Tumim when he made a treaty with them that he wouldn't attack them and they wouldn't attack him. You know, they would be together. Now, the Gibeonites are Canaanites. And the other Canaanite kings were upset that the Gibeonites made a treaty with Bnei Israel. So the Canaanite kings came to attack the Gibeonites. Adoni Tzedek Melech Yerushalayim was upset that Joshua conquered Ai, right? And they were very much afraid of the Israelites. They were upset that the Gibeonites made a deal with them. So they came now to make war against Gibon, so that there wouldn't be another city of Canaan that would fall away and weaken the Canaanite coalition against Bnei Israel. And Joshua now has to live up to his deal with the Gibeonites. He has to defend them. So that's what he does. Don't worry, the Gibeonites, there'll be a price. There's a price tag on them, right? But that's a different story. So Joshua now comes, Perik, Yud, Pasuk Hey, Pasuk Chet, Vayomer Hashem el Yoshua. Hashem says to Joshua, Al tiramihem, don't be afraid of the Canaanite kings. Ki bi'adcha natatim, I gave them into your hands, they delivered in your hands. Lo yomad ish mehem befanecha. None of them is going to be able to stand up to you. And Joshua does an amazing tactic. Vayavo aleim Joshua pitom. He surprises them in a surprise attack. Kol halayla ala min Gilgal. He comes up from Gilgal, far to the east of Yerushalayim, from the area of Jericho, walks his army through the night up to the Jerusalem hills, over the Jerusalem hills, and surprises the Canaanite kings that are besieging Givon, which we saw earlier below us. And he's able to surprise them. Vayomam Hashem lifnei Israel. Vayakem meka gdola begivon, and he beats the Canaanites a huge beating at Givon and is pursuing them down the valley towards the Ayalon Valley and towards the Shvelah, the foothills of Judea.
The purpose of Encounter Israel is to see the places of the Tanakh and to make Tanakh come alive before our very eyes. What an opportunity, what a great schus it is, a privilege for me personally and Daniel, and to share with you today the idea that we just saw standing upstairs, the hill of Givon, the place of the Gibeonites, and the place where Joshua said, Shemesh b'Givon dom, v'yareach be'emek ayalon. Let the sun stand still in Givon. Where's Givon? Right there. The Shemesh stood still right above Givon. V'yareach be'emek ayalon, just further, the valley of Ayalon. The Yareach stopped from coming up in the night, and the day was prolonged. The Vilna Gaon tells us in Sefer Yetzirah that there are three dimensions of life. Olam, the physical world. Shana, time. And nefesh, souls. Olam, shana, nefesh comes from the word ashan, ayin, shin, nun, ashan, where Moshe Rabbeinu came to the mountain, the ashan kulo. And the mountain, Mar Sinai, was ashan kulo, was full of a mist, of a deep, mystifying ashan, a smoky furnace on Mount Sinai when he got the Torah. The Vilna Gaon says, based on Sefer Yetzirah, three dimensions. Shana, time. Olam, shana, nefesh. Ayin, shin, nun. These three dimensions happen right here in this verse. Olam, the world stood still. Because of Yoshua, He called upon Hashem, and Hashem caused the world to change nature, to change the flow of the upsetting of the sun, and therefore, through the beseeching of Yeshua of Hashem, the connection between Yeshua and Hashem, as a Navi Hashem, he was able to cause Hashem to cause the world to have a different olam nature. The physical world changed, nature changed. Shana, he gave the world more time. Time changed. He stopped time. And Nefesh, soul, the Yeshua soul connected with God, Olam, Shana, Nefesh, time, place, and people, Nefashos, all three are completed and contained here in this one verse of Shemesh begivon dom v'yareach be'emek ayalon. And we, in our lives, understand that we also have the opportunity to have these three things. Our nefesh calls out to Hashem. Our soul cries out to Hashem. And we have these two dimensions. We have Shana, time. Hashem gave us mastery over time by giving us the mitzvah of Rosh Chodesh. He allowed us to determine when there is a new moon. Two witnesses come, they see the new moon. They come to the Beis HaMikdash, to the Beis Din. The Beis Din says, yes, it is a new moon. These are valid witnesses. They say, Mekudash, Mekudash, it's a new month. And therefore, 15 days later, because of what we saw and what we declared of our sanctifying of time, of recognizing of time, of Shana, of time, we are able to say, in 15 days' time, after the first day of Tishrei, we have to sit in a sukkah. We cause the timing of the divine commandment of sukkah based on what we do. We sanctify time, and the mitzvah d'oraisa of sitting in the sukkah takes place. We sanctify time, Rosh Chodesh Nisan, of the first day of Nisan, and in 15 days' time, we determine when we have the mitzvah of counting 7 days of Pesach and eating chametz. And for that, if we eat Pesach, we're not allowed to eat chametz on Pesach. And therefore, if we eat chametz on Pesach, we get kares. Who determines when a person is mechuyav in eating matzah and not eating leaven, not eating chametz? We do. We declare the new moon. So we have the power over time. Hashem has given us the power over time. Not only has he given us the power of time of chidush, hischadshus, renewal by Rosh Chodesh. Shana means time based on the sun. The sun stood still. Shana means yashan. The root word of shana means yashan, old. Mishnah, to repeat over again. It's old. Mishnah, to repeat. Shena, sleeping. The word shana, the world governs its time by the sun because it's shana, it's old. It's yashan, it's yeshenim, it's sleeping. It's shena. The Jewish people were given the commandment of chodesh, of hischadshus, of renewal every month. That's the mastery over time where we renew ourselves every single month. We have the power of hischadshus by the mitzvah of Rosh Chodesh. Not only do we have the power over time, that God gave us that power, he gave us the power over the physical world. It says in the Torah, when the Jewish people, during the plague of darkness, went to the Mitzrim and went into their houses, it says, Ulivnei Yisrael haya or bin moshvosam. In Shmos chapter 10, verse 23, it says, for Israel there was light in their dwelling places. In the very same Egyptian homes, there was darkness. For the Jews, there was light. Can you imagine that? There was a dark Egyptian home, and the Jews came in to see where the valuables and where the gold and silver was so that they can ask for their payment for their years, 210 years of slavery. So that when they asked the Egyptians and they said, could you please pay us for our 210 years of slavery? They would say, I don't have anything. The Jews would be able to say, yeah, in your left corner, in your drawer, it's third one from the bottom, you have gold and silver. You can pay me with gold and silver. On the top shelf behind the credenza, there is a rubies and gold and silver. Pay that. Because they were able to go into the dark, plague-stricken homes of the Egyptians, where it was dark, a plague of darkness, and in the same place there was light, or b'shmoshvosam. That was the Or Haganus, the light of Hashem, from the hidden light, from the Shishimei Breshis, from the beginning of time. That was the light that they used to enter into the Egyptian homes to see Or b'moshvosam. So not only the Jewish people were given the power over time through Rosh Chodesh, were given the power over the nature of the world by using the connection with Hashem and drawing that light of Hashem into the world. And we have nefashos. And the nefesh, the soul of the Jewish people, represented by Yeshua, who said, Shemesh b'givon dom, he was the one who caused time and nature to stand still. And so too we have that power. We have the power through Rosh Chodesh to sanctify time, the power of Kedusha to bring light into our homes, the lighting of the Shabbos candles, light of the Yontif candles, the light of Torah, Oraisa, Or means light, light of the Torah. We have that power to bring light into our lives. How do we do that? How does the power of Nefesh, the power of our souls, give us that power? And that is, the altar of Slobodka tells us that the miracle of the sun standing still in Givon was a matter of national hashgacha pratis, and national divine providence. God caused his countenance to change the course of nature and time through a national divine providence by changing nature for the entire Jewish people. And the miracle of the Jewish people walking into the homes of the Egyptians and seeing with light while the Egyptians had darkness, that was an evidence of a private hashgacha pratis. There was national hashgacha pratis, national divine providence by Shemesh b'Givon Dom, by Yeshua upstairs, as we saw in the Emek Ayalon and in Givon, and national changing of nature and time. And in the private homes of the Egyptians, we had a private hashgacha pratis, a private divine providence. It says the altar of Slobodka, there is a national guidance by God, and there is a personal guidance by God. That, therefore, we have to realize that God is our personal guiding God, a God of nature and history, and our personal God as well. If we contemplate the ramifications of this idea of what is the depth and meaning of hashgacha pratis, divine supervision, divine guidance, which means, according to our commentaries, it means, divine providence means the Shekhinah. Divine providence means the Shekhinah is present in our lives through divine providence. We are forced to accept the inescapable fact that we are deemed worthy in the eyes of God to have him watch our lives. What an unbelievable idea of self-esteem and self-worth. Hashgacha pratis, divine providence, means that we are worthy for God to look at us, to take us into account, to guide us nationally and personally. What does that mean for you and me? To be able to have a relationship with God, that we are worthy enough for the God of the universe to be able to have and take us into account? What an unbelievable support, chizuk, emotional support, self-esteem for us. Say, God has time and inclination to be interested in my life, in your life, in our lives. What an unbelievable boost to our self-esteem. The lying within, dormant within the concept of hashgacha pratis is Hashem believes in you so much so that he guides you and guides us nationally and personally. What an unbelievable idea that not only says in Bereshis Rabbah, chapter 10, verse 6, that there is not a blade of grass that does not have its own personal angel standing over it and saying to it, grow. If a blade of grass, every blade of grass in Givon and in Emek Ayalon, and wherever you are in Cleveland, in Boston, in Baltimore, in Toronto, in Argentina, in Chile, in London, and have grass, and you have a blade of grass, Hashem says to every blade of grass, you should grow, because an angel is appointed by Hashem, hashgacha, divine providence. Then for sure, kal vachomer, ben benoshel kal vachomer, how much more so are each individual person guided by Hashem. Each individual Jew is much greater than a blade of grass, an inanimate object. And therefore we also are guided by Hashem. And Hashem says to us, in each case, grow. And even when there are difficulties, we are challenged by Hashem. That's also hashgacha. The hashgacha of good things and the hashgacha of challenging things means Hashem says to us, I want you to grow from this difficulty. I want you to grow in character, grow in emunah, grow in faith, grow in compassion, grow in sensitivity, become a bigger person. That's the person, that meaning of that Hashem tells every blade of grass and every Jew, whatever happens to us, is he wants us to grow. And therefore, it is our opportunity. The Gemara Mako says, B'derech she'adam rotze leilech molichin osei, that wherever a direction man goes, he is led. If I want to go with hashgacha, if I want to see hashgacha in my life, then Hashem will show me hashgacha. That's how it works. The more I believe in hashgacha pratis, the more Hashem will reveal to me his hand in nature. Hashem's hand is hidden. The word olam comes from the word ne'elam, hidden. Hashem's hand is hidden in nature. But there's no reason for Hashem to hide his hand if we reveal it. If we see Hashem's hand in our lives through Hashgacha Pratis and we have a connection with Hashem, there's no reason for him to hide his hand anymore. Once we see Hashem's hand in our lives, he'll show us more Hashgacha, more divine supervision, more divine providence. And therefore, these are the tests of Hashem. When Hashem tests us, he wants us to see in which way we will lead our lives. Are we going to lead our lives by saying it's happenstance, it's mikre, or are we going to lead our lives by saying that this is hashgacha? We have an opportunity to say, I want to say that Hashem is involved in my life, or Hashem says, oh, it's all happenstance, it's all mikre, it's all by accident. That's our opportunity. And that's why Hashem wants us to know in which direction do we want to lead our lives. So it's awe-inspiring to realize that we control how much God is involved in our lives. God does not force himself upon us. We determine how much God is going to be in our lives by our believing in Hashem and our believing in Hashgacha Pratis. Then we have more Hashgacha Pratis by virtue of our efforts and our emunah and our seeing God's hand in our lives. Where is Hashem, says the Kotzker Rebbe? Where is God? Wherever you let him in. That's Hashgacha Pratis. So we have an opportunity to determine how much godliness is in our lives by having more emunah, more faith, more seeing God's hand in our lives. And therefore, this comes with the idea of awesomeness. We are in awe. Yira does not mean fear of God, in awe of God, that he has time and inclination to be involved in our lives. He's interested in our lives. What a boost of confidence that is. And therefore, we have to realize that the resource is not only olam. Hashem can change the physical world by bringing the light of Torah into our lives. Olam, the sun stands still, and the sun of light of the Or Ganus can come into our lives through our efforts by learning Torah, by understanding Emunah, by davening, by tefillah. We bring God into our lives. Shana time, by sanctifying time, by using our time wisely, by using our free will to use our time wisely. And that's the ultimate idea of Bechira Chofshis, of free will. Ultimately, we have free will to bring God into our lives or not bring God into our lives. That's the ultimate conclusion of what is free will. We have the free will opportunity to bring Hashem into our lives or not. That's our choice. And therefore Hashem tells us in Devarim chapter 30, verse 19, he tells us, I give you the opportunity to have me in your life. I'm not going to force myself on you. You have an opportunity to have a relationship with me. And God says to us, Ubacharta b'chaim, choose life. That's our opportunity. That's our gift from Hashem. And we have an opportunity, just like Yoshua, who called upon Hashem to bring Hashem into his life, into the life of the Jewish people through Hashgacha. We have an opportunity to bring Hashgacha into our lives through our learning, through our amunah, through our tefillah, through our guiding our children through a derech Hashem. That is the essence of what it means to ubacharta b'chaim, choose life.